everybody! Welcome to another installment of Scoops and Revelations, in which we examine the lore found in each Doctor Who story. Specifically what we learn about the Doctor's background in history, and recurring aliens and technology in the Doctor Who universe. This time around, we're going to be discussing the first Doctor adventure, The Romans. It consists of 4 episodes, entitled The Slave Traders, All Roads Lead to Rome, Conspiracy, and Inferno. The first ever significant time gap between the ending of one story and the beginning of another occurs here. Vicky says they've been in this new location for nearly a month. This doesn't allow for another adventure between the rescue and the Romans, but weeks have passed that are unchronicled by the show. Our heroes tell us that nothing significant has happened in the meantime. In the final episode, after some more time has passed, the Doctor fixes the date as July 64 AD. The Doctor is a better fighter than we thought. He claims to have been taught by the Mountain Mauler of Montana, whoever that is. Later, he says he met Hans Christian Andersen. Ian and Barbara really seem to care about each other, even more than they do the Doctor and Vicky. When Barbara is separated from Ian, she actually pines for him. Some have interpreted their behavior in the story to indicate that their relationship has turned romantic, or, as some have put it, post-coital, though that's never made explicit in the story, but it's interesting. Dennis Spooner, the writer and story editor, puts his own stamp on the question of historical interference beginning in this story. Unlike Whittaker, who strongly felt that changing history was to be made impossible, Spooner treats it as a kind of prime directive, and this is a view that will become accepted as part of Who lore. The Doctor tells Vicky, "We're only here as observers. We must not interfere with the course of progress." I think that's a Hartnell flub. Presumably the script said history. And he says, "or try to accelerate man's achievements or progress." Vicky doesn't listen to him, and her actions lead to the death of Locusta, the poison maker. A time conundrum appears later. The Doctor is looking at a map of Rome, but when Nero enters the room, the Doctor hides his glasses behind his back, which start the map on fire. This gives Nero the idea to burn down part of Rome. In other words, it would seem the Doctor is the one who accidentally inspires this idea. But the conundrum is in the fact that the Doctor knows about Nero burning Rome before he gives him the idea. Vicky also seems to be aware of the Roman fire before it happens. Later, when she and the Doctor are watching the fire, she says about the history books, "Too bad they got it all wrong." She means that the Doctor is not mentioned in the books. The Doctor denies that he meddled, saying, Nero could have been told somewhere else. But then he seems taken with the idea that he caused it. One fan theory suggests that the Doctor, for the first time in this story, figures out that he can change history, not having realized it before. But if that were the case, wouldn't the Doctor have expected a different outcome from the history as he knew it? He knew of the fire of Rome already, and after his interference, there still is a fire of Rome. His actions appear to have confirmed history rather than alter it in any significant way. The more interesting question is, how did he and Vicky know about the fire before it happened? Do we possibly have here the show's first bootstrap paradox? No. A bootstrap paradox is not created by outside time travelers. In a bootstrap paradox, the time traveler must be responsible for the historical event that caused him to travel back in time and create it. You'll have to wait until Day of the Daleks to see Doctor Who's first bootstrap paradox. The fact that the history books, as Vicky knows them, do not carry the story exactly as it has now occurred, suggests either that the history writers simply didn't know the true circumstances, or that the history that Vicky is familiar with is different than what has just occurred. In other words, the Doctor's actions have changed history, but just not significantly. Originally, Nero's idea for setting fire to Rome came from elsewhere. Those series of events now have been altered by the Doctor, but with the same outcome. The Doctor chuckles because now he has inserted himself into a notable event in Roman history. I think that's the most logical reading of the situation. Anyway, that was The Romans. I hope you enjoyed learning about the lore, and I'd like to hear your comments about the time conundrum if you feel like it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Next time around, we're going to be talking about the web planet, so stay tuned. I'll see you then.